Hello, my name is Taisha. I've been on Zepbound for 59 weeks and I'm back to give you an update. I am 5'7", 47 years old, and when I started my journey, I was 183 pounds. Now, my highest weight in life was 216 pounds, and that was in 2019 going into 2020. So, um, had a weight loss journey, gained it back, lost some, gained back some more, and I think it's safe to say it's sticking this time. So I'm going to go ahead and just start off with the ways that you can be the most successful on this medication: consistency and patience. And that is something that I don't know about you, but that was not something that I have had this long history of. But in order to be successful and have your results like last, you've got to be consistent. Okay. My advice to you is to make sure you're eating. I know that it's going to be difficult. For some people, they really struggle with forcing themselves to eat because they have no appetite. But as enticing as sounds to lose a bunch of weight really quickly, that is not what you want. Okay. I've been making videos about this since my fourth week, and now we're going into week 59. So there's 55 weeks of content for you to just comb through, and you'll see that I've had the same mentality, the same habits the entire time. Consistency. Um, I did lose quite a bit of weight in the beginning, and it wasn't intentional, right? So I wasn't intentionally starving myself so that the weight could drop really quickly. I wasn't tracking things because I was determined that I wasn't gonna do any of that. That I was gonna be able to, you know, lean into the medication and eat intuitively, but the problem was I was so used to before constantly thinking about food and, mistook those cues for hunger. Okay. So when that noise, which if you're not familiar with the term food noise, that's what it has to do with. It has nothing to do with hunger. It's these intrusive thoughts about food, like constantly. It was like, when's the next meal coming? What are you going to eat next? I'm watching cooking videos like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to make this. And so it was just this constant on. So when that switched off, it was difficult to really know, like, girl, you need to eat because since being on this medication and still after dropping down to 2.5, I still haven't felt the desire to eat. So, my point in saying all that is you're not going to want to eat, but you got to eat. And that is the best way. That's the best way. So, do what you can. Eat smaller meals. If you don't have to try to eat these big meals that you used to eat before. And then if you're someone who you really believe you weren't eating a lot before, you'd be amazed at some of these things, how many calories they have in them. So maybe the quantity that you were eating, maybe that wasn't huge, but they had to have packed a caloric punch, right? Um, so anyway, make sure you eat, okay? Make sure you're hydrated. Don't worry about electrolytes and all that other stuff. Don't start off worrying about that. If you get to that bridge, you can work with your doctor and figure something out, but just start off super simple. The more simple you keep this, the easier it'll be to do and to keep on doing, right? You don't want to try to do everything at once. If you haven't been working out at all, ease into it. Don't sign up for 5 classes, you know, the first week and you're listing all these other things that you want to do because I'm telling you, you will burn out. I have seen plenty of people, and you can comb YouTube and other sources and see they were doing so much, and they could not sustain it. And that was me in the past, doing way too much and not being able to sustain it. And then in the end, you end up not benefiting at all, and you've put yourself through all these unnecessary changes for nothing. Okay, so take your time. Just ease into it. See how you feel on the medication. It's good to get online and look at everybody else's, progress or their experience, but this is your own personal journey. Okay? It's not gonna go for you the way that it went for me or the way that it goes for this person or that person. This is your personal journey. So you can look to others to kinda get some ideas, but at the end of the day, this is your personal journey, okay? So if you're brand new to Zepbound, you're more than likely gonna start off at 2.5 milligrams. And I have a video that I've done that's called Zepbound 101, and I go through the Eli Lilly website or the Lilly website, and I go through that, the dosing structure, the, side effects that you need to, like, reach out to your doctor, all that's on there. So check it out if you're new to this medication. So again, you're probably going to start off at 2.5. Take that. And that's to get your body acclimated. Take it for 4 weeks, okay? Don't just think because other people have lost weight on that dose that that's how it's supposed to go and that you're doing something wrong. Don't rush to move up. Another bit of advice if you're already on Zepbound and you're feeling like you're not losing weight, we got to look at more than that, okay? How are you feeling? If you're already not able to eat on your current dose, you don't need to go up, whether you're losing weight or not. If you're not able to eat, if you can't force yourself to eat, you don't need to go up. And no, I'm not a doctor, but it's kind of common sense, right? If the appetite suppression is so great where you can't eat, moving up is just going to make that worse. So we want to get out of these old habits and these old ideas. So that's enough about that, right? My point for you is consistency and start off slow. Incorporate movement. Make sure you're drinking water. Um, I have said this and I'll keep saying it. We're all adults. Okay. It doesn't have to taste good or you don't have to be excited about it. It's good for you. And we want to start doing these healthier habits that are good for us. So drinking water, it's good for you. It's good for your skin. It keeps everything moving. It's important. Okay. Maybe if you're not someone who's used to drinking water, work up to that, right? If you're getting just 1 glass a day, maybe the goal the first week is doing 2 glasses and then maybe moving up to 3 glasses the next week. Cause we're thinking long term, right? We don't want to just do all this right now and make it overwhelming and then we can't keep up with it. Okay? So just slowly but surely start adding the water in. If you're someone who doesn't eat vegetables at all, maybe you have a couple of meals in a week where you're incorporating more veggies. Okay? I would like to say let's not put 15 pounds of butter and all this other stuff on it. But the way that you season your food or whatever you put on it, you do what's best for you. Getting more of those things in, though, is really good. And try steaming. Steaming, air fryer, oven, try other ways of preparing them and make it fun. Maybe you're experimenting with a different recipe each week. Again, it doesn't all have to be done at one time. Okay. Let's see. So we've got the water, we've got the veggies. Maybe try to cut down on the amount of processed foods that you're eating. I'm not saying that you have to go and completely revamp your whole diet, but you know if what you've been eating is good or not. Okay. So again, we want to work up to it. So then the movement, right? If you've been doing nothing, start off with walking. Maybe you're doing some body weight exercises, some calisthenics, some yoga. You know, I have, let me see, a walking pad, and that's where I get my walking in every day. And I worked up to that. When I first started this journey, I was doing strength training, and I was perfectly happy with just that. And then I got inspired by 2.0 Mommy last year. She was doing a walking challenge and I came in at the end of it. So that following month, she started strength training and I started adding walking. So we kind of, linked up over that, but something so simple. And I was walking last year 6 days a week for an hour a day. And I ended up overcomplicating it because I kept trying to beat my time. You don't have to do all of that. Just get out and move. And if you're somewhere where the weather is nice, enjoy that. It doesn't have to be miles and miles. You don't have to be going so fast and having, sweat pouring down your face. It doesn't require all of that. Just start doing something, you know? Maybe you go if you're, you have multiple levels in your house, maybe a few times a day you're just going up and down the steps. Something, okay? Again, not too much. Not too much because we want this to be sustainable. Strength training, there are a lot of YouTube content creators that make excellent content. The ones that I've been doing Kira Mitlow, and before her channel was Strong Sisters United. So if you've heard of that, same person. And Lift with C. So I just started this past Monday, um, Kira Mitlow's the 15-minute standing strength series. Okay. It's 5 days a week, 15 minutes. So I would say and it's for beginners. So if you're new to working out or this is kind of something you're not sure about, check it out. She has a playlist and yeah, if you end up doing it, let me know. Cuz I'm going into week 2 tomorrow and I really like it. And it can be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. My recommendation if you're brand new, just maybe the first week just do body weight. You know? You don't have to go out here and try to, be Shira or anything. Just ease into it, okay? Take your medication as prescribed by your doctor. So, if your doctor hasn't given you full guidance, take your shot once a week. The time of the day doesn't matter as far as being more effective for weight loss. I've taken it at different times of the day. Not for that reason, just because I had other stuff going on. Don't get caught up in that, okay? I personally have just done my stomach this entire time, and that's just a comfortability thing for me, left and right, okay? Again, re refer to that Zepbound 101 video, and I go through all of that. So, that's that's really all that I have for you. I mean, there's just so much information, and it's easy to get overwhelmed. I I am a person that keeps track of my calories, not in a restrictive way, but so that I know what I'm doing. Okay. After losing a bunch of muscle in the beginning, and I have talked about that a lot, that is what got me in gear with, okay, I'm going to track so that I make sure that I'm getting enough. Okay. That's important. Um, it doesn't have to be restrictive. And I know that there's just been this history of counting calories is restrictive and I don't want to do that. It doesn't have to be. It's data. Okay. You're getting information. If things aren't going the way that you want them to go, how do you know what to change if you don't know what you're doing? You know what I mean? So that's why it's really important to have some sort of grasp on what you're doing. So if you're just starting off and you don't want to count calories, like you're just against it and it really triggers you, take pictures. You don't have to put your pictures on the internet, but take pictures so that you have an idea of what you're doing. You're not necessarily going to know how much, but at least you know the things you're eating. So if you do notice you're having certain side effects, you can kind of see, well, I ate this on Tuesday and then I started feeling like this Tuesday night or Wednesday I felt icky. Maybe you can refer back to what you did on Tuesday. So just think of it, try to approach this with a totally different mindset, okay? We're doing things differently now than we did before because if what we did before worked, we wouldn't be here right now. All right? And give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. Don't expect to jump in this and just know everything right away. You can consume all the content. Your experience is still going to be your experience. So let me get into some data real quick. All right. I'm 5'7". I said that in the beginning. I'm 47 years old. I'm a mother of 5. I My highest weight was 216. My starting weight on Zepbound was 183 pounds. And my lowest weight on Zepbound was 126. And I'm now holding steady at 128. I shoot for 1,800 calories a day. I'm getting over 100 grams of protein. Now lately, I'm shooting more towards staying at the 60, between 55 and 60 grams of fiber. And I'm not someone who's sensitive to carbs. But if you're interested in seeing those things, I have an Instagram and I post all of my workouts, just the sped up, in the reels and everything that I eat. And I also have the calories and the macronutrients broken down. Now, the only ones that are showing are like the standard ones, right? Carbs, protein, fiber, and fat. So if you want to see what that looks like, that's gonna be on Instagram, and I'm starting to change the way that I do that. So before it was just kind of like this, what do you call it? Where all 4 of them would be on one picture. I don't know why, like a grid. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just posting, at the end of the day, I will post pictures of all of my meals. I'll still show the calories and the macronutrients, but I'm getting away from putting all of that on YouTube and Instagram. So it's all public. You don't necessarily have to follow me. I mean, if you want to, it's okay, but it's really just a food and exercise diary. So that's where you can go for that resource and there's over a year of data there. And yeah, so hopefully I hope I've covered everything. I've been trying to just be less rehearsed and just kind of, you know, just like I'm talking to somebody, right? Like I'm talking to you. I want you to know that you can do this. All right. As someone who struggles with or who has struggled and been diagnosed with a binge eating disorder, I want you to know that if that's something that you struggle with too, this medication may work for you. I've tried different things in the past. I've been on Vyvanse, all of these things, had therapies, like nothing has worked for me quite like Zepbound. And then with starting Zepbound, when all that noise was quieted, I was able to apply the things that I was learning. So I have before I finish up, on every week on Monday, I go live. I do the live streams, and those are pretty fun. And it's a good chance for you to, be able to ask me anything you want in real time. And you get to, you know, talk with others in the community. And if you just want to watch and not necessarily engage, you can see that it's a pretty active community and everybody is really helpful. So the live streams are my favorite because it's that real time engagement. Something else that I started last month is it's called the Daily Dose of Mindset series. And every day I post a video. Now, it's a short video, it's usually between 2.5 and 5 minutes. But I believe that the most important part of this process is mindset. Like, yeah, diet is important, right? Like what you're eating, what you're putting in, moving, all of that's important. But your mindset is so important. And that is my goal with those daily videos. And those are kind of interactive because I usually give you a question to answer if you're comfortable with, or, just something to know. So that I know that you saw it. And if it resonated with you, then that's good. I want to know. And if you're not feeling it, let me know that too. Like it doesn't always have to be sunshine and roses. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I hope that this was at least helpful. And again, if you have any questions, anything that I haven't addressed, feel free to put it in the comments. And so on that note, I'm going to leave you with this. We can share our journeys, but we should never compare them. Bye.